a monarch who ends poverty by inventing a new social stratum, then engineers a prince's death to fix a succession, a high priestess who feeds cities and builds roads, then turns a governor to ash on live broadcast, a queen who promises peace, then rigs law and spectacle, so a trial can end only one way. Tonight we're analyzing evil. Merida Orodum across her lives through Dragon Age, Fallout, and Game of Thrones. Merida isn't evil in the cackling, sadistic sense. She is a hard consequentialist, benevolent authoritarian who prefers markets, institutions, and consent until they fail. Then she'll use fear, deception, and surgical violence to make the world behave. Our question isn't, does she do harm? She does. It's whether the harm is the point or the price of her project. Let's go world by world and find out. In Dragon Age, she also works and manipulates the noble houses. She tames the assembly with information and theater as she proposes her signature social invention, the surface caste. She reframes the castes from rigid birth boxes to professional tracks. She uses the surface caste to improve the economy and add rungs to the dwarven social ladder. The merchant, smith, and warrior castes eventually become professional designators rather than lifetime social stigmas. She sells it publicly with plain language and percentage-based dues, tying elite obligations to growth. Nobles' houses are offered percentages of surface caste income based on multiple factors. That tiny fiscal detail is the tell. She's aligning incentives, not just giving speeches. When she arrives at Ostagar, the Chantry nearly sparks war when they try to abduct her. Her reaction isn't to burn it down. She forces proportional reform. Demote the Grand Cleric to lay sister, reshuffle officers, keep the Chevaliers to help. The point is order, not revenge. When the Divine sentences the Grand Cleric's death, she shows surprise. Merida's first instinct isn't isolation or revenge, it's coalition. During the battle, she coordinates the Wardens, human kingdoms, elf contingents, Chevalier from the Divine, down to volley timings and cavalry gaps. This is operational art, not hero ball. When diplomacy won't cut it, she plays four-dimensional statecraft. The meeting with Solace, a baited negotiation masking a kill box, ground shaping to trap him, timing to break the guard, cross-domain coordination to finish the job. Worse, or smarter, she uses the same battle to edit a dynasty. Prince Kalen dies. Not by chance. Merida ensures it, clearing the way for Serena to ascend and to owe her. Publicly, she manages grief and unity. Privately, she makes it clear. The throne is where she wants it, because the realm needs someone competent there. Merida also makes it clear to Serena, her friend, that she is the reason Kalen was killed. That she let loose only 50 out hundreds of flesh rots, and she can always let more loose should the need arise. In this world, Merida is the visionary social engineer and coalition general, who also greenlights assassination and succession-shaping death when the political landscape demands it. In the Fallout universe, she founds, or captures, the children of Adam. She uses the faith to push her agenda. Once her organization grows large enough, she uses the daily broadcast as her pulpit and policy feed. Integrate peacefully and get clean water, roads, clinics, churches, policing. Raiders and gangs are given the opportunity to surrender, reform, or be crushed. At the Institute, she arrives with diplomacy, but pivots to blood and ultimatum once they try to trick her. The old director dies. The Institute's board bends. Within days, she's sleeping in the director's suite and chairing meetings. Not a partnership, ownership. When the Brotherhood of Steel enters the picture, she offers diplomatic integration alongside a display of power, with the promise that she would rip the Pridwin from the sky if they defied her. With the Brotherhood, she's courteous, offers to test rad-free water, then drops the doctrine. Coexistence is not an option. They will do their mission inside her state or they will be dismantled. The carrot is public goods. The stick is her. The Brotherhood surrenders, rebranded as Angeli de Steel. Its doctrine is rewritten, Vertibird and Pridwin Tech is absorbed into her ala miraculorum. Its organizational conquest by fear and by service provision legitimacy, because alongside the terror, people are fed, roads appear, clinics open, the water runs clean. She conquers the Legion not through military means, but by example. Caesar offers violence, subjugation, a continuation of the wasteland status quo. She offers genuine change, citing the many states she's already brought into the fold, who now enjoy safety, peace, clean water, plentiful food, and social support systems with the children of Adam. Caesar is put down by his own men who desire Merida's future, not Caesar's past and present. As the Legion presses forward, she offers all the resources of the nation she's been building to unintegrated parts of the country. When governors resist her ban on slavery, anti-women policy, or blocking churches, she stages a liturgy of terror. Levitation, nuclear wings. A governor vaporized mid-assembly on a public broadcast. An unforgettable lesson to others. This is what defiance buys you. The choices are simple: reunification, peace and prosperity, or death and being left in the waste bin of history. Her method of warfare is psychological: interrogation to expose alien invasion logic, tunnel operations that weaponize dread, geokinesis to seal exits, so panic compounds. She wants the enemy to collapse before her troops do. Her battlefield is the mind. She wants the enemy ready to surrender before a shot needs to be fired, but will not hesitate to order troops in if the needs be. Is she a theocrat? In part. A tyrant? From below it can look like one, but her promises are real and massive. She delivers results, she holds herself accountable, but she does not brook dissension, and she retaliates against obstacles without hesitation or mercy. In Westeros, Merida speaks the language of honor and optics. She uses the prophecy of her birth to leverage her position as a priestess to the drowned god. She integrates herself into the Ironborn's politics, steering them to become transporters of goods and defenders of other ships to fight their reputation of raiders. At Harrenhal, she manipulates King Aerys into setting up a duel with strict rules and high stakes. Only Valyrian steel holders may enter. Should the challenger win, he gets 1,000 gold dragons. Should he lose, the weapon is given to Merida. She defeats Lord Celtigar. Aerys in his madness delights in awarding her the Celtigar axe, and recognized as Lady Merida Greyjoy. In a single move she gains notoriety, a coveted weapon, and legitimacy. Political theater, efficient and blood-sparing. She allies the Greyjoys with Robert's rebellion, making them the center pin of the war. She personally breaks the siege at Dragonstone, and plants the seeds of loyalty within Stannis Baratheon, her first accomplice to ensure her later goals. During the war, she works closely alongside Robert and Ned Stark, befriending them and growing close, making them her second and third unwitting accomplices. Once Robert is crowned, she ingratiates herself with Varys and colludes with him to safeguard future bastards sired by Robert, her third accomplice secured. When the time is right, she manipulates her family, using her visions to direct her brothers into attacking Bear Island. A trap wrapped as divine directive. She warns Robert, then uses his demand that she stop them as justification for wiping out the last remnants of the Ironborn traditionalists. Euron escapes, but the goal is achieved. Merida is given the Iron Island as her domain, named Lady Orodum, and given clout, prestige, and enshrines her reputation as a loyal friend and ally to the crown. She marries Tryon Lannister, a fellow dwarf with intelligence enough to topple the realm. She manipulates Tywin Lannister, bringing gold back to the Lannister mines, and promises to bring Jaime Lannister back to Casterly Rock, so long as Tywin back her every play, and was willing to sacrifice his daughter in the process. Then comes the masterpiece of process manipulation. Cersei's trial. Guards are trapped by oaths. Rooms are searched for the right vials. Robert appears, then recuses himself, handing the chair to Ned. Merida's accusations are backed by evidence, eyewitness accounts, and the actions of men Circe thought under control. She then fights on behalf of the crown and topples the mountain, forcing him to lie under the threat of days of torture so that he names Circe as the one who commanded the death of Elia Martel and her children. Optics: immaculate. Outcome: inevitable. Even Tywin swallows it, because Merida chose law and evidence over riot and coup. The result is a masterclass in manipulation and political showmanship, and Merida's ascent to the Iron Throne. Rovert abdicates. Names Merida as the next ruler. His choice is backed by every major house in Westeros by either representation of proxy. She claims power and uses it to begin national reform. On the small council, she pushes roads, a standing royal army, and town councils. State capacity that lifts small folk and quietly siphons power from petty lords. She weaponizes noble vanity to co-finance infrastructure and prearranges supply chains decades ahead of time. Commerce grows, so does her legitimacy. In the conflict with the dead, she leads from the front, fighting White Walkers alongside knights and common folk alike. She is seen as a warrior queen. She performs a miracle by bringing millions back to life, burning out the magic of the world. The price for victory being the sacrifice of a great majority of her power. She is a reforming monarch with hard realist instincts. She turns courts, economies, and war to the same end, a realm that survives. Merida's motives and methods can be categorized in three general principles. First is her macro-utilitarianism. She optimizes for the most people better off, fastest, surface cast to end structural poverty, churches, clinics, roads for the wasteland, trials that preserve legitimacy, and incentivizing the nobles to build infrastructure in Westeros. Second is her institutional capture as virtue, conquering as mercy. She prefers pamphlets, broadcasts, board seats, and oaths to bonfires, battles, and blood. When institutions resist in ways she deems barbaric, she breaks them and keeps the shell. Third is her use of fear, precisely aimed. Baited parley that becomes a kill box. A governor obliterated as catechism. Melisandre unmasked in the Great Hall. The Brotherhood cowed by a demonstration that could rip their airship from the sky. She will persuade when she can. She will terrify when she must. She will kill to ensure an end goal. You could make a case that Merida is evil. Under Parley's flag, she kills Solace. In the same breath, she ensures Prince Kaelin dies to fix Serena's succession. Classic just war taboos, treachery, engineered deaths, manipulation. She turns religion into state terror, executing a governor in front of subordinates during a live broadcast. She takes the institute by assassination and threat after having her hand forced. The church by a display of power, the Brotherhood by threat of destruction. Call it building an empire with good PR. You could also argue that she is not evil, that her actions are justifiable. Her outcomes are not window dressing. The surface cast isn't a slogan. It's a new on-ramp to dignity with incentives that actually work. In Fallout, churches feed and shelter multitudes. Roads and clinics anchor prosperity. In Westeros, she chooses trial over purge, evidence, recusals, clean optics, so the realm accepts justice without civil war. Even her threat displays often avert larger bloodshed. The Brotherhood yields. Enemies rout before the lines meet. Peace is achieved through sometimes terrible means. But it is achieved. She shows remorse and self-correction, disciplining subordinates without scapegoating, apologizing when she misfires, preferring allies to subjects when that path exists. As far as any conclusion can be drawn, Merida Orodum is not evil in the sadist's mold. She is a lawful, utilitarian sovereign, a builder who believes the fastest road to the greatest good is paved with institutions, incentives, and, when necessary, exemplary cruelty. She saves far more than she scars, but the scars are deliberate. Solace under Parley, A Prince Kalen's death for future stability. A governor turned to light to curb future residents. If your ethics reject terror and assassination, categorically, Merida is a villain wearing a halo. If you weigh outcomes, fewer scourges, fed cities, safer roads, a realm that holds, she is a ruthless good, dangerous yes, but pointed at survival and flourishing. If the greater good calls for her sacrifice instead of the sacrifice of others, she has shown she is willing to make that sacrifice. Merida is not evil, but she will utilize evil to serve a greater good.